David Buss. That's the name I was just looking for here.
David
David
Buss,
Buss is a
yes.
very famous evolutionary psychologist, and he he would say that the way we evolved in the savannah, the female would primarily be motivated to look for resources and stability to have the ability to raise a child safely and effectively. So resources and men, he would say, are looking primarily for fecundity and genetic fittedness.
Yeah.
So we're looking for good genes and the ability to deliver a child. They're looking for the ability to create an environment where the child can thrive and where they can be safe. And you got to remember, when a woman is pregnant, they are vulnerable.
Mm.
And so those motivate, again, this is back to motivational systems. People don't think enough about motivational systems. They're in there operating in our heads. We don't have to cave into them. We don't have to give to them. But to pretend they're not there, they'll get you. They'll find their way through. It's like addiction. They'll come out. But you can acknowledge them, use them, shape them, push in different directions. But if you ignore it, it will find its way into behavior. And yeah, resources are a major motivation. And there's lots and lots of literature out there on what women find attractive, and it's very different than men. And they have sort of different systems operating. They have sometimes they are looking for genetic fittedness at certain times in the month, and sometimes they're looking for somebody nice and able to nest. And women are different from one another. I mean, just to make generalities about this gets a little dicey.
Yeah, I think you said in a podcast where for women they look for competency for men.
Well, women find that very attractive.
Yeah.
Competency is I think men do too, though. I think competency generally is a really cool quality that I think we all would find it attractive.
Do you think that shifts over time? Because competency in a man, let's say even 500 or 1,000 years ago, was being able to hunt down a boar, create fire, and feed the family. Right. Whereas this day and age, it might be someone that's a computer engineer that created $1 billion startup. So does that shift over time?
Oh, of course. But I think competency now is more capacity in. I think about when I think about competency, I think about being able to run a resuscitation in a busy emergency room and keep her cool and know exactly what to do. Or if we dial it back 1,000 years, competency would be able to, protect this castle in the middle of a chaotic something. It feels to me more like something in action that's when competency really steps in and becomes attractive, I think.
It certainly seems to shift over time. I'm not sure if you're familiar with James Nestor. He wrote a book called Breath. It just recently came out. I think it was on Joe Rogan as well.
Called Threat?
Breath.
Breath. I remember hearing about this. And what was his deal?
Well, he was a free diver, he's a journalist, but he wrote a lot about why breath is so important and how that dates back into how the shape of our face has evolved over time, whereas kind of the pre-human species had perfect teeth. Humans are the only ones that have crooked teeth, and part of that is because of the modern diet. When the fire became invented, we started to chew softer food and soup and rice and all these things, where our mouths have become smaller over time. So it's coming longer and skinnier, which fundamentally has shaped different faces over even the past 400 years. So I bring that up because I guess it would mean that females and males, we've just learned to find, we're very adaptable in terms of what makes us feel attracted to someone. And probably goes around with ethnics, right? White males were the big thing in Hollywood, and they were the only ones that had faces up on the screens, whereas now it's more of the minorities that are getting some more attention. And it seems like it's a very adaptable thing that humans can learn what to feel attracted
to. Absolutely. I was reacting to the word learn.
Learn, okay.
Because that's a little bit, it's a little bit specific. It's something, because attractions, again, are built on motivational systems. And motivational systems are complicated.
Yes.
They're not strictly a learning paradigm. But I do agree with your general construct.